What's up, Videolanders? I'm Brad.
I'm Seth.
Brian.
And today we're going to adventure through the sights and sounds
Of Star Wars.
The Force Awakens.
Ooh. Guys, we just finished watching the trailer. Wow.
Which trailer?
Teaser 2. This Christmas cannot come fast enough.
True that.
I am so excited. Today we're going to adventure through The Force Awakens. We are going to talk about the teaser. We're going to talk about what we want, what we don't want, what we know. We're going to talk about the trailer. We're going to break it down. We are going to take all this Star Wars knowledge and we're just going to regurgitate it in your Videoland faces. In a good way, though, because we want you to watch.
Like a mommy bird feeding a baby bird?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
But before we take off on this pod racing track,
That's pretty wizard.
we got to own our bad babies here on Adventures of Videoland.
Okay.
Let's go back, all right, okay? All the way back to Episode 4, Part 1.
Yep.
Okay, this was janky, man. This was back in the day. We had, like, the bar light was showing. We had, like, the heater going because it was, like, winter time.
No 3-point lighting. I remember
Yeah,
how
no
cold
3-point
it was.
lighting. Oh, my God.
So
This was,
bad.
like, the worst of the worst, man. We didn't even have a good camera angle. We just threw the camera up like, hey, Videolanders. You know?
Getting content out there.
But, dude, this is important. Episode 4.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's just say, Dorothy, we're not on Tatooine anymore.
Yeah, but what about... There was a lot we got right, though.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
But did we get the Tatooine right?
No.
Looking back, I said, do you think this is Tatooine?
Yeah.
And you said?
It's gotta be.
It's gotta be. Yeah.
What? Well, I mean, so apparently there's other desert planets.
Yeah, right? That was
Whatever.
exactly like-
What? I can't know everything.
The galaxy's a big place.
It is.
Now,
Some other backwater planet.
I'm going to give you a second to go back on something if you want, because we
Okay.
still don't know.
Okay.
For fact,
Okay.
is John Boyega, is he going to be Rebel or Imperial?
Rebel.
You think so still?
Rebel.
Okay, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
What do you think?
John Boyega.
Yeah, this the Black
Finn.
Stormtrooper.
Finn. Okay.
Finn.
I think that he is going to end up being Imperial,
But what's
who
his-
flips sides, and that's why he's sweating in the desert.
Yep.
Because he is
Well,
running.
it's hot in the desert.
Well, I mean, like, but he looks afraid. He looks full of the fear.
Yeah.
I think it's because he's leaving. Something crashes. You know, the TIE fighter he's strapped to or whatever crashes, and he takes his helmet off because he doesn't look like he's taking his helmet off because he can't breathe.
Yeah.
He's not like he's like looking around and freaking
Get
out.
the hell out
he
of
is
it.
in the
Jakku.
middle. He is in the middle of the desert.
Jakku.
There is nothing around him at all because he's not looking at anything.
Yeah.
He's looking around. I think that's his chance to GTFO. He's like, I'm done. I'm done. This helmet gone. I don't need it. I'm out of here.
Yeah, I think so too. We're gonna break that scene down.
Whatever,
too when we get
guys.
the trailer. But
Whatever.
I agree exactly with what you said.
Whatever.
Can you grab the Inquisitor real quick? Now, something we did get right that I pride ourselves on. This was in, you got to remember, November, I think, Episode 4. We said that the BB-8 was going to be boot high on the Inquisitor, which is like roughly up to our knees.
Yeah, like 2.5 feet tall.
Yeah, and you said, so like the size of a hobbit. Remember that?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I had to bring it up. It cracked me up, and then I'm like, I thought about it for a second in the episode, and I was like, what the hobbit? That's...
Hobbits aren't that short.
Yeah, that's freaking huge. And then we're like, okay, half a hobbit. So BB-8 is half the size of a hobbit.
Yeah.
Or boot high on the Inquisitor.
Yeah.
And he's the chosen one.
Yeah, it's about 2/3 of Kenny Baker.
Yeah, and that droid is badass. But, so, hey, we talked about it, we said that, and it came true at Anaheim in Celebration.
Yeah. They had it out.
They had it out.
Creepy.
Whoa!
It's awesome.
It just rolls around.
Yeah,
and I
It's
don't-
all magnets and magic.
I
It's
don't get it.
fantastic.
Wow.
I don't get it.
J.J. Abrams is a wizard.
I love it. I think it's amazing.
Duh.
Oh,
Hey, Jack.
and then we said,
What?
okay, well, we did call BS on this. We did. But we said there was a rumor, and it was. We said that we heard that they put the soul of R2-D2 inside BB-8 because there was no original trailer.
Yeah.
In the original teaser, they didn't have no R2-D2.
Yeah.
So we're like, well, what if they put his
What if
moving parts?
What if it just rolled up
Yeah.
and it's just like, hey guys, it's R2.
Yeah, at the very end, it was just George Lucas in the end of the theater. They roll it out at the end because they got to say that to the end, right?
Yeah.
And they pull it out and they're like, oh, that's R2-D2. And everybody's like, and George Lucas is like, George's petting it.
Yep. Just
beep, Skippy. Okay, but those are some of the things that's some of the things we got right, some of the things we got wrong. But dude, this is the first, I think May 19th of this year has been a decade since Revenge of the Sith, right?
Yeah.
Wow. It's been 10 years, so it's rumors.
I was in high school.
Damn.
I know.
Hey, real quick,
I'm old.
how many times did you guys watch Revenge of the Sith?
In the theater or period?
In the theater.
In the theater, I went to go see it at least 3 times.
In a row? Consecutively?
Not consecutively.
I seen it twice in a row. Left, went right back in.
Yeah. As that I was not a child like some people. I had jobs and things I had to do, so I couldn't go
I had
back to
school.
back. I couldn't back to back it.
I had stuff.
But no, I liked it a whole lot, and I've watched it probably 50 plus times since then.
Yeah, I think it's a great entry. But, so man, what I'm saying though, this is Star Wars, and this is, I think, going to be the first time in probably the life of Star Wars, maybe going into the future here.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going on. Prequels, yeah, I mean, they threw some things at us, but for the most part, we knew how it was going to end.
Yeah, we were getting the A and the B because we already knew the C and the D.
Yeah, and we're going to be able to speculate on, the next Star Wars, some anthology films, things like this, but this first one here is so special. We have no idea. And there's going to be some fun surprises later on. Yeah. But this one, for the most part, we don't know anything for fact.
Yeah.
We don't know if Han Solo was, if he, they had kids. You know what Luke Skywalker's been doing. We don't know anything for certain.
Yeah.
There's speculation, but for certain. So I'm pumped. You guys ready to talk about The Force Awakens?
Absolutely.
Break down the trailer?
I'm pumped for the wars, as always.
Let's do it. Let's talk about it. So, man, you watch this trailer, and it starts off in Tatooine. Yeah, I know. It starts off in Jakku.
Well, it starts off before the Lucasfilm screen. It starts off with the molten Vader helmet.
Does it? I thought
No.
yeah.
Yeah, because you get the speeder.
Did you watch the fanboy trailer?
No. I'm like, no.
Because it starts off Lucasfilm, and then it goes Jakku, and then I think it's like, because he starts talking about
my father
has it, and that's
when
he shows up to the
Vader
helmet.
My sister has it. I have it, or you have it.
No.
Yeah.
The one I watched today was not how it went.
Well, that's the official.
Let's take a pause and rewatch it.
Let's rewatch it. Pause. We're back, Videolanders, and we were right! Yeah!
I was incorrect.
Eat it still.
Snap!
I was incorrect.
Welcome to the jungle!
Yeah. Do we know our stuff, or do we know our stuff?
We know it!
Oh! You're back in. So yeah, the Vader helmet comes a little bit later. So it is what it is. We all make mistakes, like Vader.
Yeah.
Like young Annie.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is pod racing.
Yeah.
It is Wizard.
Throw it to the wind.
Yep.
It's Wizard.
Let's get back on track.
Okay.
So we're in Jakku.
Yes.
And dude, tell me what, man. This is a screenwriter's goldmine right here. Jakku. We're gonna see stories coming from Jakku probably till the end of time.
Yeah.
This was a huge battle.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently. They say, well, I think it is Battlefront.
Yeah, that's the first downloadable content.
Yeah, but I guess it was
really?
Yep.
Yeah, they said that Jakku though was a prominent war that turned the tide of the war. You know, so we're gonna be seeing a lot of stuff here if we're coming from Jakku. Do you guys know anything about Jakku so far?
All they claim also is that like Boba Fett was at this battle because he's in the battle.
Really?
He's one of the heroes.
He's
become,
one of the characters.
which I call bullcrap because they're saying, "Oh, he was the president of the battle." I call bullcrap.
Yeah.
There's no way that he'd be fighting for either side. At least in my opinion, there's got to be, he's bitter. He's not Mandalore anymore.
Well, you haven't played that game, maybe that particular level.
Yeah.
No. But I said that. I was like, oh, he just happens to be the upgrade you get. They're making it sound like though, oh no, he was at this battle. He took place. Like he was important to this battle.
Well, maybe it's him and a handful of his Mandos. Like they're there to punish both sides. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
I got nothing.
There is still rumors too that what's his face is gonna be Boba Fett. Max von Sydow.
I had
There's
heard
rumors.
I had heard that.
Stupid.
I think that's loose. What do you think? Let's just call that out right now. You think that's going to be BS? Is it
BS.
Is it Star Wars BS?
BS.
I can't imagine that that's a good idea.
BS.
BS.
Yes, I think
what about
it's BS.
Tamir? What's his
We're
face?
gonna go
I was
back
going to say
like
Tamir Morrison.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's old enough too.
Sewer.
He's like 60 now, 55, 60,
exactly.
right?
Boba should be
Jango Fett.
Jango Fett.
Mm-hmm.
He should physically look like
Yeah.
Jango Fett, and maybe a little older.
Yeah.
A little more weathered because he's a real clone and not accelerated.
Yeah. Unless they do that surprise, like the "I am your father" moment where he pulls off like synthetic flesh. He's like, he's like, I was Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And everybody be like, gay!
Yeah, no.
That doesn't work!
Now, also, I haven't seen Tamara Morrison in anything in the last...
Green Lantern.
Was he in Green Lantern?
He's Abin Sewer.
What?
Yep.
That's why you haven't
Give
seen
me!
him.
Give me! Give me!
That's why you
I
haven't,
don't think I knew that.
that's why you haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but Jakku, man, what I'm excited about this was, what I read was that Jakku was just a desolate planet, okay? After the war, you have starships, and you have X-Wings, and it's a graveyard
Yeah.
of spaceships.
And that's
So-
what we see in this opening shot.
Yeah, but what excites me now is it's a thriving place, kind of like Tatooine, where people moved to Jakku so they could, pull
Scrap all that
so
stuff.
they could pull up remnants from the
Oh, we
past.
could get like junkers and raiders
Yes!
and like some space pirates that are looking to take stuff off of.
And that's what Daisy Ridley is in this. Supposedly, Rey is that her name? I believe Rey. Yeah, Rey.
Yeah.
Because I always get Rey, Finn, and Ren and Rey messed up.
Yeah.
But that's why I think they're going to be brother and sister. Ren and Rey.
Oh yeah.
I think they're going to do that name change, Kylo Ren and then Rey. But Rey lives on this planet as a scavenger. We hear, so she knows her way around like the Star Destroyers. She knows her way around the fallen AT-ATs, and she looks through these ships, on a daily to try to sell stuff at the markets. So this place is thriving now because of that war 30 years ago, and that was the prominent war that happened, I guess, right after Endor. So you had Endor, and then over the skies of Jakku was this huge war that really turned everything to
which
rebel side.
which thankfully kind of erases
turns everything to sin.
erases my least favorite additional scene. One of my least favorite additional scenes in the special editions.
Yeah,
is the pulling down of the statue
Emperors.
on Coruscant. I hate it.
Really?
Because that planet was thickly Imperial. There's
Yeah.
no way that they'd get word and suddenly be like, let's pull down Lenin's statue.
Yeah.
Like
The Emperor's dead.
the Emperor's
Yeah.
dead. Long live
Everybody.
everyone. Yeah, I hate that, and I love the Yub Yub song.
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay, all the stuff that Skywalker,
Yeah.
that Lucas, added to the original films. Something like he added like that song, and he added some other stuff. The thing that I wanted him to add was when a New Hope, they're in the junker, and it shows all the droids and stuff with the little brown coat guys.
Jawas.
Yeah, Jawas. Yeah. Like I always wanted to see General Grievous like bent up and like thrown in the corner somewhere, like his mask sitting there. I'm like, why don't you add that? So Jakku, I'm hoping we get, since we have new Stormtrooper outfits, we see someone like messing around with old
stuff.
Stormtrooper armor. That's what they wear under their
That
robes.
would be cool.
Yeah, but dude, you're gonna get old blasters. You're gonna have people just like fighting all kinds
Living
of neat
in the
stuff.
Dark Ages. Basically.
Yeah, I'm
That
so
would be
excited
cool.
about Jakku, and I think we're gonna find like in novels, future novels, maybe Aftermath. We're gonna find all kinds of cool stuff, man. Bounty hunters are here, so Jakku has become freaking interesting to
That's
me.
where it's at.
Yeah, and we should learn more in September 10th, 11th, somewhere around there is when Aftermath comes out, the novel that really explains what happened after Endor. And Jakku supposedly was one. All this is supposedly. We don't know squat right now. We're spilling the beans on kind of what we think we know. Okay, so nothing's for certain here, but this supposedly happened 1 year after Endor.
Okay.
That's what I heard. So, you guys want to add anything about Jakku? Are you guys pumped about that? What was that whole screenshot there? What was in that screen? We've seen
An X-Wing.
There's
Yeah.
a crashed X-Wing.
And a down Star
There's a
Destroyer.
down Star Destroyer. They're both buried, so they didn't land. This was
Yeah.
smush.
Yeah.
I missed the X-Wing the first time I watched the
Really?
TV
Yeah,
show.
I didn't see it either. I was so
Yeah.
focused on the
Star
Star
Destroyer,
Destroyer.
yeah.
I totally missed it. I had to.
Huh.
I went back and rewatched it, and then I was like, oh wait a second, and I was like, that looks like it is an X-Wing.
Huh.
Yeah.
See, and I was all X-Wing. Oh, it's a Star Destroyer! Yeah, I saw the X-Wing
And when
first,
you see that popsicle speeder, that fudge popsicle speeder going across the desert, supposedly that's what Daisy's doing out there. She's scavenging.
Junkin'.
Yeah.
She's out looking for stuff.
Yeah, well, actually, supposedly there's a scene in the movie, and this is just, again, rumors, spoilers. Spoiler, if you don't want to know anything about Star Wars,
Why are you even watching
You
this?
shouldn't
Yeah.
have clicked on this.
we might be tapping into everything, we might be tapping into nothing. We don't know.
Remember their episode 4.
Yeah, remember episode 4. We're going to come back and be like, Seth, what happened?
What were we thinking?
The Inquisitor is inside the Star Destroyer.
Boba Fett is everybody.
Yeah, it's everybody. I know it. But
That's how they make him something again.
yeah,
he is everyone.
Supposedly that's what she's out there doing. She's scavenging, and I love that. If the opening of this movie, we get a scavenger, man. Like we don't get to see a lot of scavenging going on, except for through Jawas.
Well, it'll be a great if they, like you said, remnants of dead stormtroopers and like not body parts, but like armor parts and things like that. That even if you take all the trailer stuff out and you just literally sit down, watch episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then now into 7, they won't. I mean, obviously they have the scrolling text, which. We're all going to just be like, when the scrolling text starts up.
Yeah.
And back!
It could say, like, it could be the worst scroll ever. I'm going to be like, yeah!
Exactly. So as soon as that goes, I'm sure the scroll's going to say, 12 years
War!
have passed. 12 years have passed.
Yeah.
It's going to say time has passed, the war is over, opening on the planet of Jakku.
Would you be pissed? Would you be pissed if they had the Clone Wars narrator?
Yeah.
On a desolate planet.
Yeah, I would not be.
I
I thought it was a cute gimmick for the cartoon, not for the movies.
So, I'm sorry.
No, but I mean, like, they could just immediately bleed into that kind of scene with her looking through this stuff, and we would just get the immediate, just crushing feel of this place had legitimate war happen.
Exactly.
This was not an accident. I mean, we could have stormtroopers and rebel skeletons, lying around, and people would be like, all right, no, this was not a skirmish that someone went and landed. This is like legitimate major infighting.
And dude, I play the Fantasy Flight role-playing game, so my mind is constantly going to, what did they... I bet that Star Destroyer was on a secret mission, and they had, plans for Death Star 3, Something cool, So I guarantee you, man, we're going to have so much fan fiction. We're going to have things in novels. A lot of things are going to come from Jakku.
Yeah.
So what's our next shot, man? After this, we got...
That's when he starts in on the reiteration of what he says in Return.
Can't wait to get into this. Now, what were you saying about this?
It's the same lines from Return of the Jedi.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Which is true. It actually is that.
It is.
But Mark Hamill had to go back and re-record them.
They sound good.
Yeah.
That's weird. He doesn't sound like...
He got called back into the Bad Robot Studios to re-record that set of lines.
Yeah.
How did he tap into... He sounds like Luke.
Yeah, he does. He really does.
Because he's an amazing actor.
Yeah.
Because he's fantastic. He's amazing. Don't you?
Yeah, no.
At times!
I don't think...
times!
Oh, my switch is off.
Yeah. From just his voice acting alone, I can pull that from him. He just doesn't get to do much because he is Luke Skywalker. He's kind of... what do they call it? Pigeonholed? Is that the word?
Yes.
I don't even know what the...
Typecast.
He's typecast, right? I don't even know what pigeonholed... Why would I even say pigeonholed? I don't even know what it means. He's pigeonholed. What is that?
I don't know.
That's something that's dumb.
He's holding pigeons?
He's holding pigeons, yeah. So anyway, we get to... so he does the voiceover for this. And what's interesting is if you're going to come back and do a voiceover, why would you still say my father, has it? Why would you say my father had it if you're redoing a voice?
Because if you go back to the end of episode 6, at the very end, he sees people live on in the Force. He sees them. They're still alive. They're still with him. I have a feeling that the Blue Force Ghost...
Christensen?
Yeah, that's a whole other question, isn't it? What are we going to get?
Well, I think that we're going to at least get reference that they've never left. That, Obi-Wan and Yoda and those guys... he has always had access to them because he's connected to the Force in that way. How do you guys feel
about that, though? Because that's a big unanswered question if that's going to happen or not. And I think you might be tapping into something. I think we might see Skywalker talking to Vader, or not to Vader, but to Anakin.
To Anakin, yeah.
Yeah, so are we going to get Hayden? Does he need all three there? Is Qui-Gon going to get back into the loop? There's a lot of questions right there. What do you think's going to happen here?
Well, I just wanted to throw this out. I saw an article a while back when George Lucas was buying up the rights to dead people's faces.
It's a couple years back.
So he could do
Alec Guinness. Yes.
Yeah.
He could do whoever he wanted, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to go that route, man. That would be... Man, yeah, people would look down upon that though too. I think.
Why?
No, I mean, there's people. Well, just I don't know. What do you think?
I don't hate
How do
the
you think
fact
people would react to that.
I don't hate the fact that he looks like Hayden Christensen at the end.
I like to think that was because when he was still
Good.
That's when he was still good. That's when he remembers himself before the Jedi or before the Vader era, before all the horrible shit that he did.
Mm-hmm.
This is all before that, and so if you got to manifest as a Force ghost, you'd probably go back to when you liked yourself.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we would hear something you would think about Hayden Christensen coming back for this. We have a tight-lipped.
Yeah.
That could be one of those, J.J. Abrams.
And you wouldn't necessarily. Well, I guess you probably would need actor in studio, to do something. I don't know if you could pull something from the prequels and then kind of put it in.
I doubt it. I don't know. Why wouldn't you if you have him? It's not like he's doing anything.
So many unanswered questions there. I can't wait to see what they do with that. But then again, Skywalker's been doing his thing now for 30 years. You wouldn't think that he would need the help from all this.
Well, that might be why we haven't heard that he's going to be in it. Maybe it will just get. That whole reference or voice in head. Yeah. The Obi-Wan voice when he was in the New Hope X-Wing. Use the Force.
Yeah. And then again, that goes perfectly with the rumor that I've heard recently that we get seriously 5 minutes of Skywalker. We get the cliffhanger where they go, they find him in his castle. They're like, "Here's your lightsaber back," and he's he takes it from Daisy Ridley, and it's it goes down. Yeah, and you can totally see that. Tell me they're not going to do something like that if they don't go there. Because you're going to leave that theater being I cannot wait for 2 more years from now. Yeah. Totally makes sense. Yeah. Totally makes sense. So I can see that happening. And there's not going to be any time for communion with, Vader or young Anakin or Obi-Wan if it's just drop in, here's your lightsaber, I'm Daisy Ridley, train me. Yeah. Yeah. Cut. And
I'm not wrong that they are...
Well, hang on. Let me talk to Anakin real quick.
Find out what Grandpa said.
Let me make sure this is a good idea.
Yeah. Obi!
Ben?
You mean Ben Kenobi?
Yeah.
Brought your R2.
But they're filming these basically back to back to back, aren't they?
No, I don't think so. Because you get the anthology films in between. They're going to take at least a year off.
Because that's the only thing I worry about by putting major roles and major heavy plot points in the hands of the elder actors.
Yeah, I understand that.
Not that I would ever I would cry myself to sleep for a week. But if Mark Hamill ended up passing,
that would really suck.
That would put a giant crash on everything else. If they end on a lightsaber cliffhanger, and be in the scrolling text for episode 8, they're Luke Skywalker falls into a pit.
Unless Lucas did, get the rights to dead celebrities, and then we're good.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the same, but hey. Yeah. So that's a lot of unanswered questions there. I can't wait to see what they do with that. But I bet you, let's call that right now for fun. For the sake of this episode, okay? How long a screen time do you think Luke Skywalker will have in The Force Awakens?
10 minutes.
10 minutes? What do you think?
I'm going to put an upside of 20.
Ooh!
I think we're going to get 10 early and then maybe 20. 10 later.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be one
scene. Actual FaceTime. Because I believe, we're going to get into it in a second, but when he puts his hand, we think that Skywalker putting his hand up against R2's dome. Mm-hmm. I don't think we're going to see FaceTime there. If we do, it's going to be very brief.
Okay. I was counting that as Luke on screen.
Time. I'm going to say 5 minutes of screen time. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to call it, man. Because I did hear that Han Solo, I think this has been pretty much confirmed that it's the youngsters show and Solo.
Because he's on the cover of all the magazines.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, and he's revealed in the teaser trailer.
Yeah.
Best moment ever.
Yeah. So you think 10, 25, right?
Mm-hmm.
You heard it here, man. We're going to come back at Christmas time and see what we got. So what's the next?
Well, they do the like you said the hand on. Should we show Vader's helmet?
Okay.
And then we get the kind of fade.
That is cool, man. Vader's helmet.
Oh God. Well, and if you listen to the backtrack, you hear the breathing.
Yeah. And you hear the view of the Sith, whatever.
Yeah.
Which is
who's
cool.
holding Vader's helmet?
I'm gonna assume that's probably
a bad guy.
Well, actually, I was thinking that it's probably. Was it Kylo?
Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren.
I think so too.
I think because I think it's going to be which goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Not on tape. We'll talk about it later. Is I think that we're not getting a legitimate Sith.
Yeah.
I think we're getting someone
Trying to be a Sith.
who's trying to resurrect the scary mentality that Vader had.
Yeah,
Vader had
I think so too.
this galactic crushing fear that
Mm-hmm.
everyone had in his wake, except for really dumb Imperial officers. Then I think that that could be someone who goes to Endor, goes to the site where he was laid to rest,
Yeah.
and like digs up, maybe uses the parts of his saber to build that awesome,
This thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the thing.
The thing. And how cool would it be, like, because no one's going to be as popular as Vader. I mean, he's cinematic history, he's pop culture.
Yeah.
So how cool would it be if Andy Serkis's character, which they just announced today that his name is Snoke.
Supreme Leader Snoke.
Yeah, which I think is cool. But so Snoke, you got Snoke, right? What if he's telling Kylo, you are just as good as Vader.
Mm-hmm.
Get out there. And he's not. And he's pushing him for his own agenda.
Yeah.
How cool would that be to see this bad guy fail, who, if Kylo Ren is Han Solo's son, if he is, and he's twisted and turned, and he's not as powerful, and we just see this character, just his demise later on in other films, just because of the push of Snoke.
Here's the thing:
Oh.
we had the Han and Leia love romance at the end of the episode 6,
Uh-huh.
so it would make sense that perhaps
They got busy.
Luke's conversation talking about "and the Force is strong in my family" is talking to Kylo Ren, not son of Han Solo, son of Leia.
Yeah.
That's the force-carrying gene that goes down to him. And when he says, my father is, he reiterates that strength. We've got the strength in the force.
Yeah.
And because I can't imagine that Luke would be broadcasting that Vader was his dad.
Yeah. I don't think this audio here, I don't think it's in context with the images we see.
No. I think it's placed together for the trailer well.
Yeah, I bet you anything it's at the end of the film where I think that he's going to be he's going to talk to Daisy Ridley. I think this right here, this conversation is meant for Daisy Ridley. Okay. That's what I think. And you thinking Kylo Ren.
I'm thinking...
This is fun. I can't wait to see in Christmas, what we got right, what we got wrong. Because I like going back to episode 4 and be like, God dang, we were so off.
So dumb.
I think it's going to be to Kylo, and that's what's going to trigger him to, well, if the Force is strong in me... And then he goes and tries to research more about the family and finds Vader and goes to and then that makes the whole why he becomes what he becomes. It's not an evil transition. It's not I'm going to become the next Sith.
Yeah.
It's no, I'm going to follow in my grandfather's footsteps. I don't want to be a hermit like Dad or like Uncle Luke. I don't want to be a scoundrel like Dad or a politician like Mom. I want to be like Grandpa Anakin. I want to be strong.
I have a feeling though they're going to make us play the guessing game on Kylo Ren and on Rey. I think they're going to make us guess. Like I think we're going to go in pretty much knowing that they're Han and Leia's kids, but they're going to wait for the reveal until later. Okay, that's what I'm thinking there. So I don't think Kylo Ren will have any access to Luke. I think Luke's probably. Ever since day one, before episode 4 that we talked about, not episode 4 as in, A New Hope.
Adventures 4.
Adventures in Videoland 4. We talked about some of the early rumors was that Luke Skywalker was just this hermit. He was isolated by himself. And I still believe, because I've seen that so many different places, I believe that he is off into the distance. And then I've heard that... the whole movie's like getting his lightsaber back to him, the one from Bespin that he lost. Okay? So, if this is true, then I think Kylo Ren wants that saber. I think he wants to be in contact with Luke, so maybe he would train him or, maybe mess with him a little bit, bring him over to his cause. Yeah. But, he can't find him. I think that might be one of the reasons Luke is in hiding. And that's purely speculation on my part. I haven't heard that that's why he's hiding. I'm just kind of guessing.
Well, if you want to take it one step further, the saber that Luke lost on Bespin wasn't his to begin with.
Yeah, it was Anakin's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Vader's last
Jedi weapon.
Oh!
Jedi lightsaber.
And what if he's loving that, if he's holding Vader's mask at the beginning of this, I didn't even think about that. He's pretty much the biggest fanboy.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's like, I got this mask, I need that saber. Yeah. I want to, be the boogeyman. Mm-hmm. And he's doing everything, because I've heard the opening scene here is that Bespin saber plunging into the ground. Okay.
Okay.
Can I just tell you what I've heard real quick?
Bespin doesn't have ground.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not Bespin, Jakku.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I was thinking Bespin because of that lightsaber. Okay,
Gotcha,
that's where he lost the lightsaber. Can I tell you what I heard real quick?
Sure.
Break it down, okay, and then see what you guys think of this. Opening scene, that lightsaber falls to Jakku, or someone claims this lightsaber on Jakku, okay?
Okay.
It's a junk planet. I heard that Max von Sydow's character, okay, he's a big junk dealer on Jakku. Someone finds it, they take it away, and they're like, oh, this is a freaking lightsaber. They call the Resistance, which, interesting, we'll get into this here soon. The Empire and the Rebels are not Empire and Rebels no more.
No.
It's Resistance and New Order.
Yeah.
First Order. Yeah, First Order and Resistance. So they call the Resistance, like, hey, we got a lightsaber here. That's when Princess Leia sends like their best guy, Poe Dameron, to Jakku.
Yeah.
BB-8 is actually his droid, and it has a compartment inside that droid where that's where they hide the lightsaber.
Okay.
And then they grab the transmission to the first. It's so weird calling them First Order and Resistance because I'm used to
bad guys.
Yeah. So there you go. The bad guys, they find out about this, and you know that scene where you see Kylo Ren tearing through people, doing that force move.
Yeah.
He's actually lands at nighttime on Jakku. It's like,
but no, that's a lava planet, though.
Jakku?
No, when he does the thing against the.
No, I think he torched the hell out of Jakku.
You think so?
Yeah.
Maybe there's some
it looks
orbital
like
bombing
same,
before he lands.
It just looks like the same planet Luke's on, where he's holding.
Yeah, I doubt it. I don't think it's Mr. Far. Hey, we don't know.
Okay.
We have no idea. But if Poe Dameron is sent to claim this lightsaber for Leia, okay, he puts it in BB-8. He's like, go, run, and we see him trekking across the desert, going into hiding, and that's where Daisy Ridley, Rey, finds BB-8, and she tries to sell that droid off, but it doesn't work. So that's what I've been hearing right there. That's how that sets up, and then that's when you see John Boyega with that mark on his helmet, and he's like kind of upset. I've heard that he wasn't expecting on torching everybody on Jakku, because they can't find the lightsaber. He gets back up there. He helps some villagers. Okay, he gets up on the Star Destroyer, and they're like, the general, played by Domhnall Gleeson, we think, is like, get me John Boyega, because he hears about him losing his crap on Jakku, and he knows he's screwed. Okay, so he's like, I'm gonna go I need off this ship because I'm dead for screwing up my job as a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
They took Poe Dameron to find out where the lightsaber went, what's going on. He's just a stormtrooper. He can't fly.
Mm-hmm.
He breaks out Poe Dameron saying, we need to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
And then they go back to Jakku. And then, that scene where the two TIE fighters are chasing each other?
Yeah.
He crashes. We don't see Poe Dameron for a while. And then John Boyega runs off to the markets. That's where they meet Daisy Ridley.
Interesting.
That's what I've been hearing. So, but if you take the images and some of the plots that we've heard about the lightsabers and all that, I think it kind of lines up. So we'll see where it all heads. What do you guys think about that? Does that sound...
That seems a little convoluted.
Uh-huh.
Especially if this saber finds its way... especially if Daisy ends up being related to Luke and Han and Leia and everybody. Because that falls into the category of how does this saber...
Coincidence?
Goes all the way from Bespin to this random planet, this junker planet, into her hands. That seems a little...
I don't like the idea...
That seems a little hand-wavy.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of it plunging into the desert like at the beginning, and you're like, where the hell has this been this whole time? What I think would be interesting is that since this is a junk planet pretty much, and they're collectors...
Would it bother you if, you see it falling, but then you also see Star Destroyers and shit falling from the sky, like it fell during the first battle?
Yeah, but
how would
it end up on the Star Destroyer?
I don't know.
Like, random stormtrooper on Bespin found it in the clouds and went, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's interesting, though. I do like the idea that BB-8, because in the trailers, it seems like BB-8 belongs to Rey.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's following her. Yeah. Or at least it seems that way.
It seems that way, but it kind of makes sense that, why she's in she's a scavenger. This is a brand new droid. It doesn't look like R2-D2.
Yeah, it's not all battered and...
Yeah, so it makes sense. And this droid is functional. It makes sense that they would put, a lightsaber in it or something. That just makes sense to me. That's it's like a safety deposit box rolling around the desert.
It's like a toolkit?
Yeah, it's like a toolkit, yeah. And that's another rumor that we heard, too, that it is Daisy Ridley's. and that it goes with her, and it's a giant toolbox that just rolls around with her while she's scavenging.
Kind of like
it rolls up.
So either way, I'm cool with either one of those rumors. But Poe Dameron, supposedly, which we get later into the X-Wings, he's supposed to be like the best friggin' pilot for the Resistance. Like, no one is better than Poe Dameron. So I think that's pretty cool. But I don't know. We'll see. So what do we got next? You guys have anything else you want to talk about that?
No, not really.
Those are just strong rumors, man. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, from stills, from rumors, I mean, you see that they're on a desert planet, and you see that Kylo Ren's obviously going to be somewhere causing a mess somewhere.
Yeah. It
just makes sense. Dark. If he's, I heard this rumor about him coming down at nighttime. Why not spend time on Jakku doing that? So it just makes sense on a production and on a budget standpoint.
Yeah.
We'll see how it breaks down, though.
Well, and I like the fact that the jungly planet that we see in the trailer at some point, do we know for sure what that is?
We don't know.
I would love for that to be Endor.
I've heard that it's Yavin, and that the reason they go there is because they have that lightsaber, and Han Solo, when they catch up with Han Solo, again, I don't know, guys. We're talking about rumors, so if you guys have any other rumors that you want to share, bring them in. But I heard that they get to the markets on Jakku, and she's in a fight. She's trying to sell BB-8, okay? And then John Boyega comes into the mix. She doesn't buy that he's a rebel because I guess he takes Poe Dameron's gear. That's why you see him in the leather jacket, like in the on the Entertainment Weeklies. Okay, and she doesn't buy anything that he's selling. They get into a fight. That's the reason you see, her pick him up. That's her hand supposedly picking him up off the ground. That's in the trailer, and they're running for their lives because the TIE fighters are coming in.
Yeah, things are exploding.
They're tracking the stormtrooper. They don't really care too much about him. They're keeping tabs on him. Okay, they're more concerned about where the hell's BB-8 at because he's got that saber, and they find that out because Poe Dameron's on a Star Destroyer being tortured by Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what we're hearing. So if that is true, we hear that their next move is they find a ship on Jakku, and they just board it, and they just get the hell out of there. And that ship is
the Millennium Falcon.
And that's what we see. And this what makes total sense to me. That's why I believe this. That scene where we see the Falcon flying through that Star Destroyer? That's obviously on Jakku. They're not going to fly to another desert planet. And
you're not going to have two crashed Star Destroyers randomly.
Yeah, and who would know that better to maneuver through that than someone who has looked in there for years for, anything that she could sell at the markets? It makes total sense to me.
But how did Han and Chewie come into it then?
Supposedly, I heard that they get stuck, they're escaping, they make it up into the atmosphere, and then they get sucked up by, probably like a resistance ship, and maybe hasn't seen that. Maybe that's
the We're Home.
Yeah, well,
no question.
Yeah, duh.
No question.
But back on the Falcon.
But what that was that final battle. After Endor, Han Solo, and I haven't heard this either, but Han Solo was there at Jakku.
Yeah.
If this was a big battle, what if that ship was lost there? It was kind of torn up. Maybe it was one time buried, like with the Star Destroyers and the X-Wings.
Yeah.
They fix it up. And finally, they find that ship or whatever. Now, this is pure speculation. And again, it's one of those things where it's like, you got to buy that?
Yeah.
And they get up there, they suck the ship in, and then he gets onto the ship. He's like, Chewie, we're home.
Yeah.
That's what I'm taking from the first time I saw it. It has to be.
Yeah, but how would he lose it in the first place? How would he ever lose that thing? He loves that ship.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But, you're a general now, probably. Man, people grow up, People put their toys in the basement, I don't know. I'm curious about that. But if you notice, Chewie, they are obviously in the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
They got guns, and it's like they're trying to reclaim the Falcon.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It seems like, Rey and Finn, John Boyega, are in that ship. And what sells me on that idea, though, is because they are going through that Star Destroyer. And yeah, Han Solo could do that, but it just makes perfect sense that she would be able to navigate that Star Destroyer better than any TIE fighter because she knows every nook and cranny. That's her lifeblood right there.
I would love for maybe Rey and Finn to possibly steal jump on and steal the Falcon, and we never even see Chewie or Han for until eventually it gets to a point where the first time we see them in the movie is when they run into each other, and that's when he sees the Falcon again and is like, we're home.
Well, yeah, that speculation, that scene, and I guess we'll just keep on talking then and stop worrying about the stills because we know a lot of the stills because we're kind of jumping around anyway.
Yeah.
But BB-8 kind of like
peeking around. Supposedly because she couldn't sell that droid or whatever, she was just trying to make some money because she found this, just like she found everything else on Jakku. So Han Solo's exchanging with Finn and Rey, and this thing pops around the corner, and it decides to have its R2-D2 moment where it spits out the image, but instead of spitting out an image, spits out the lightsaber.
And then Han Solo's like, man, that's Luke Skywalker, that's Luke's saber that he lost on Bespin. And that's where they're bringing it into that jungle planet. He's like, I know somebody that would, and this is what gets me excited, on Yavin supposedly is a Maz Kanata, which is, I don't even know how to pronounce her name, Lewin Uphill or whatever. But she was in 12 Years a Slave. Fantastic actress. And I'm kind of upset because she's such an amazing actress. I want to see her face.
Yeah,
and she's mocap.
A complete CGI character.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, but hey, it could be amazing. But Han Solo's like, hey,
we gotta go.
If anybody would know, about this, our mission, our future mission here, we need to go to Yavin. We need to talk to Maz Kanata. So they go there, and I think that funeral pyre that we see, and Luke Skywalker puts his hand on the dome. I believe that is all a vision that Maz Kanata is projecting. Yeah. So, and then there's supposed to be I've heard rumors that it's all cut here, Luke Skywalker, dead Padawans, all kinds of stuff going on in this image, which could be that Game of Thrones moment where Daenerys goes to, what were their names, the witches and like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it could be that where you're like, wow, for future movies, it's like, wow. And then they kind of, mess with that and
tweak it a little.
Yeah, tweak it a little bit. So that could be interesting. So if that's the case, we get some pretty cool visions and some flashbacks of everything we want to know through Maz Kanata. So, and then the other thing is, now there's either that or totally off of that, okay?
Yeah.
Total 360. Luke Skywalker's obviously upset here, okay? Yeah. Now, if it's a vision because of dead Padawans, whatever, right? But what if Han Solo, it's been long rumored, Han Solo is not a fan of Star Wars. I mean, I'm sure he's a fan, but yeah, he's got other projects. He's like
Harrison Ford.
What did I say?
Han Solo.
Oh, yeah. But he's the same guy.
The same person.
Yeah, but you've heard the rumors that he's not, he gets sick of, the Star Wars fans. So what if he's dead in this movie? I'm sorry. I'm calling that. He will die.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
And I think it'll be... someone had mentioned that it might be Chewie, almost to emulate some of the stuff that happened in the Legends books. Not the exact way, but how the emotional impact that Chewie kind of
brings.
Yeah. Except for the fact that, A, we know Harrison Ford is getting aged. Same thing with Peter Mayhew, the Chewbacca suit. Although I would love to say that no one could play Chewbacca like Peter Mayhew. If something happened to Peter, someone could replace Chewie. You can't replace Han.
No.
And I think that that is a catalytic moment if you lose one of the iconic characters, especially if he's going to be as big of a deal in this episode, in this show, because of family members and moving around the galaxy. He could be the Obi-Wan to
everybody.
Yeah.
To everyone. When we lost Alec Guinness, we were like, oh my God, Sir Alec Guinness. When we lost him, that was a monumentous occasion because he was such an important character. You actually feel that loss, and I think in this instance, losing Han to this new batch of characters could be that catalyzing moment for them. This is what steals us all, no matter what our backgrounds are. Junker, ex-stormtrooper, super pilot, whatever. No matter what our backgrounds are, we just saw a legend die because of the bad guys.
Yeah.
And that catalyzes everybody for episodes 8 and 9.
Yeah, that could be.
And we know that Chewie won't go anywhere because of the life debt. Or, I hate to say this, we lose Han and then Chewie.
That's where I think that life debt is going to go over to Rey. You know? So? Yeah, I think that's going to be Han Solo's
dying
daughter.
wish.
No, I don't think it's going to be his dying wish, but I think it's going to be just like Chewie, just goes with.
Well, I hate
that'd be cool
I
comparison.
hate to mention this. We only know about the Life Debt because of Legends stuff.
Yeah.
We know nothing. The stuff that is actually canon.
There's no Life Debt in Star Wars.
They never
don't
talk
They've
about
never mentioned it in episodes 1 through 6 or
Man.
Clone Wars or Rebels, which is the only canon stuff at this time.
Yep, and they don't bring it up in the comics.
So
either.
we don't know yet.
Okay, cool. So I'm saying that scene there is one of two things. It's either going to be a vision, or that it's going to be Luke Skywalker, just like putting Vader on the embers. It's going to be saying goodbye to Han Solo.
Oh,
And tell me that wouldn't be a heart-wrecking scene.
I'm gonna cry like a baby.
You can even see the camera panning around, and it's not just R2-D2 and Luke. It's Poe Dameron, it's Rey, it's Leia, Chewbacca. Everybody around Han's funeral pyre. So I think those are two opposites right here too. And I feel like I'm talking a little too much, so I want to know your guys' theories too, because this is so just speculation right now. What do you think that scene is right there? There's with the embers and Skywalker and R2-D2.
I think he's just hanging out like on a.
But he's so sad, man. You can tell.
You
just the
can't
way-
tell. He's a
I
hooded
don't know.
guy.
What do you think?
He's a hand. I can't.
He's
I
a
can't.
hand,
I,
yeah.
I can't get.
It's a moody moment. It's a moody moment.
It's a moody moment because we're hearing a very emotional backdrop.
maybe,
We've got
maybe.
the music's there. We don't know what the real score is going to be. For all we know,
That music's beautiful though.
Oh my god, yeah.
Why would you touch R2? There has to be more.
Everyone's
reason.
touching R2. Everybody.
Well, think maybe he's in middle. We actually don't know. They've slowed things down in
They're
other
in
trailers
love
before.
now.
Maybe for all we know, he's putting his hand on R2 and he's telling somebody about his trusted guy who's never been away from his side. We know nothing about what's actually happening.
R2 could just be doing his little.
What are those?
He's scared. Yeah.
What's those little ship suckers called that are on the
Minox?
Yeah, he's like maybe he's got some Minox crap on him. And he just does that real quick.
Sorry, bud.
Yeah. So what's another image from this trailer? You see? We see the Chrome Trooper.
Yeah, but
played by
Gwendolyn Christie.
Yes, thank you.
Which is
Brienne of Tarth.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm excited about her being cast in this movie.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, why don't you just cast Tyrion in an anthology film?
I just
Peter Dinklage. I don't care now.
I just
give me more.
I just like
Game
the
of
fact
Thrones.
that she's going to be normal sized.
Yeah,
That because she's a big woman, but
Yeah,
she's
she
not
is.
massive. They size her
they
up
size
for
her
Game
up,
of Thrones. I'm just glad that because my first thought, and I when they said that she was going to be the Chrome Trooper, I'm like, oh my god, they're going to make a trooper that's like 12 feet tall. Oh, we're already going to hear the jokes. You're a little tall for a stormtrooper.
yeah.
Except they're going to make her normal size. So she's
Yeah.
just going to be like 6'2".
Are you excited about that casting of?
yeah, I
Gwendolyn
mean,
Christie?
the only thing that I keep hearing, like, oh my gosh, it's some sort of relation to Boba Fett somehow, too.
Really?
Yeah, I keep hearing that, like, that's the new Boba Fett.
I think it's the way that she carries herself.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
she looks like a
it's-
badass, and how she's got, like, the half cape like he
Yeah,
does,
that's
too.
cool.
Yeah, so, but,
So-
I mean...
The Grievous,
I don't
like is she gonna be the Grievous of this movie, where she's like the secondary villain? And if so, I hope she sticks around for a couple movies. I just don't want because I love Grievous, but you don't get much of him, man. He goes out quick in that lightsaber battle, which should have lasted an extra 30 minutes in my book.
Yeah.
Yep.
Was over like what in a minute and a half. He just takes his arms.
And he ends by a stupid blaster. It's not even a
Yeah.
a lightsaber wielding droid killing machine that
Yeah.
kills so many Jedi during the Clone Wars, and that's awesome. And he gets killed by a damn blaster.
I don't mind that as much as you earn it. Earn it a little bit more, because I like how Obi-Wan doesn't use blasters and he's forced to on Grievous. But man, that scene there needed to be longer, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
Pretty cool in the book.
is it?
Yeah.
But see, like, I don't want Gwendolyn Christie to, one and done, like a Marvel film. Like a Marvel villain.
Don't want her to be a throwaway villain.
Yeah, I want to see a Chrome Trooper, looking for, like she's the right hand of either the General, which is supposed to be what's his name? No,
That's Supreme Leader Snoke.
and I think they're going to save this reveal too. I don't know, but Luke Skywalker, a strong rumor is Domhnall Gleeson is going to be Luke Skywalker's son, and he's actually a general in the for the Empire, and that's actually who Kylo Ren works for, but supposedly he's not a straight cardboard villain. Like he joined the Empire because he's seen some good in that. And it was going to be like help both sides and kind of bring balance, but he got sucked in too far.
Well, and honestly, if you look at it, even the Empire, other than the Palpatine's Sith stylings, the idea of the Empire is sound.
Yeah.
It's take the chaos of the chaos of the galaxy and unite it under one flag.
Uh-huh.
That actually makes sense. And if they take that with this new order, if they take that and have that be, this is their goal, except without all the Sith stylings, well, at least on the surface, then we might have a little bit of a question mark of, are they freedom fighters or are they terrorists? You know, the resistance, or do we know who's the good guys and who's the bad guys necessarily?
Yeah.
Or are we only rooting for these people because, you know, they're spending a lot of time on camera, and then towards the end of the movie we're like, oh, they are working for the wrong side.
And why are they First Order and Resistance now? What happened to the New Republic? Because...
Well, what do you mean?
Well, no, it's not canon. Yeah, but you would think that would... but you would think that it would kind of go there.
Yeah.
You know? After the Battle of Endor, unless... It just didn't work out how we all thought in Endor. Everybody's celebrating.
Well, but I mean, that's one of the big jokes is, like, all they did was blow up the Death Star. What if everything just went to crap?
Yeah, there were still 30 to 40,000 planets.
Yeah, which is interesting. We put everything we had into taking out the Death Star. Over there, I mean, that was the Rebel Alliance, you know?
That's one of my
Empires everywhere.
That's one of my favorite things about, again, a Legend series, the Thrawn trilogy, is that it shows that there's way more Empire out there than just what's over here, which is why I hate the toppling of the statue. Because the center of the Empire is not going to be waving flags going, yay, the witch is dead! You know, they're going to be devastated.
Yeah. Well, like when we get further into this trailer, there's the picture of the scene where all the new stormtroopers and then the flag, the banner hanging, that their symbol's different.
It is.
Yeah, the symbol's different. So do you think that...
It looks like a Sith symbol.
A little bit.
Yeah. Would you... I think this would be kind of cool. Bounce this off you guys. But what if the Empire now, with, you know, their, you know, Emperor and Vader being dead, what if they've kind of reorganized into... Because you have Snoke, which was... What is his
Supreme Leader Snoke.
Let's just listen to all this. Supreme Leader, First Order, okay? Everything looks very... It has the sound of, like, I want to say, like, not paranormal, but like a, what do I want to say? The old
military?
Something like that. It seems very Hitler stuff, like what he was doing in the shadows, you know?
Well,
like trying to get all the evil, powerful things in the universe, you know, to rise, you know, out of the ashes. But I think
that would be cool.
I think what we need to take more away from that scene, though, too, is if you look behind all those guys.
Yeah.
It's an ice planet.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, which I think is kind of cool.
Which has not, like, I haven't even heard. Yeah. Like, I've heard Endor, like you brought up. I heard Yavin for that jungle planet, but I haven't heard anything yet for that ice planet.
Yeah, they're on an ice planet.
I would love Luke to have never left Endor.
Yeah.
This is where my dad died.
This is all I have.
This is where I stay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is his Dagobah.
Yeah.
I would love for that to be...
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Or he decides to hole up, be a hermit here. This is where my dad's remains are. This is where I fought the greatest battle of my life. And...
So, but would you honestly think that he wouldn't help? Like, the Rebel Alliance tear up the rest of the
Especially 1 year after. If that Jakku battle took place 1 year after, that's where I could see everybody...
quick.
A huge battle on Jakku.
But maybe what if that causes the rift, though?
Yeah.
Between everybody. It's like, Luke, we need your help
I
on
can't
this.
wait for that
and
book,
like,
man, after
and
that.
he's just like, no, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
This is terror. You know, I had to be instrumental in the destruction of my father.
Yeah. It's just like, I can't be that hero anymore. And then, like, you know, Han and Leia and Chewie go off to war without him. And it's just, you know, you got Lando, too. I don't know. I'm sure he's in this movie, too.
Well, I heard Lando's Finn's dead.
What?
You think so? How would you feel with that? Okay, you know what I hate about movies? You brought this up earlier. We should do an episode. We've always talked about this. We should do an episode sometime where we pick a movie like Star Wars. Yeah. And we just throw so much BS out. Mm-hmm. Like, we just make it up on the fly. And people are like, man. It's our own rumor train. But no, I've heard that Lando, you know, obviously he was in Rebels, you know. I heard that he's gonna. I heard that either in anthology or in future films, especially if Han Solo dies, they're gonna have to fill that role, you know. But he's old too, man. He can freaking dance on Dancing with the Stars. Yeah. But yes, I'm kind of worried about his movement. You know, like if he's gonna be in a nursing home next year, you need to get him, push him.
I was gonna say again. I think that this episode is gonna push very heavy towards us. Seeing a new cast take over.
And I'm cool with that, man.
Which I'm super okay with that. Because I mean,
I want my time with Luke Skywalker, though.
I was going to say, I love the olds and I love what they do in the story, but I do not want to watch geriatric wars. Yeah. You know, like that's... I don't want to, because it will have to get actioned down, or worse, it'll be a still super actiony, and then they'll all just be
CGI.
all old guy CGI all day long, and be like, "There's no way that guy's doing that."
And I've asked you this question, but I want to see. I forget what you've said, and this is for you as well. If you get to the end and Luke Skywalker's there, and we only get 5, 10, 20 minutes of him, okay? She gets there and she's like, this is your saber. I need your help for my mission, whatever that is, right?
Yeah.
And he's dark side. That's a strong rumor out there too, and it leaves you right there in the theater like,
oh, he's evil.
He's evil.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Because we talked about that with because we do want him to flirt with the dark side just so we can.
We already had.
Well, no. We want to hear his Joker voice like this, But I don't want him to be evil just to be evil. I want him to flirt with evil.
My dear rebellion.
Yeah. I want him to be evil for a minute, just for the greater good. Like he has to tap into that to save somebody. Doing that like his awesome.
It'd be cool to see him if he was like explaining a plan of action and gives like two. Because I would love to see him not emulate what happened in the books, but ride the line. Kind of
a gray Jedi. If you will.
Exactly.
Which I think is a stupid idea.
What was the storyline?
Just so it's out there.
What was the storyline where he did
Dark Empire?
Dark Empire.
Dark Empire was where he
tries to destroy the Empire from the inside.
That's kind of what I want then.
Yeah,
that would be awesome. But
man, it's lame.
I would.
Bring that guy over who wrote Toy Story 3. He'll write a good story.
I would love to have him, like, maybe he's explaining how things work to people, or whatever, and to someone important, and gives them like an either or, like one of those, you could take the hard way, and you could fight tooth and nail against this, and you're going to be scraping up from the bottom all the way, but you're going to lose friends along the way, you're going to lose family along the way, or you could take it right to them and crush them, and like break into that that Joker dark feel.
Yeah, it'd be so cool, wouldn't it? Just for a scene or two.
But even if it's just like he's capable of it. Ooh, like people should be afraid. I would love to have him still on Endor by himself because people are terrified of him.
Dude, hell yeah!
Stay away from that.
Yeah.
What if that's
Vader's murderer?
What if he has to he's channeling something, and that's how you get it. Like he's got to touch the droid or whatever, and then like he gets like and so
his trance moment.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So you're getting like all happy, then it gets real scary,
so
like
cool,
Galadriel basically.
Yeah,
it gets real scary for a second.
They need awesome to give that to us at least just for a brief moment. Yeah. But would you be pissed if it turns out like 2 or 3 movies down the road that he's like the new emperor? And he follow into the steps.
I would think that would be.
It'd be overkill.
It would cheapen what has already happened.
Yeah. And I was going to say, in the comics, it's only like 3 issues. Because Dark Empire's only 6 issues.
You know what? I usually don't like everything so nice and neat, but I do. I want him to be Obi-Wan. I want him to be the guy who sets our new heroes, on their journey. That's what I want.
Well, I think there's something to be said for with the second we see, and again, I'm reading way more into this whole light side, dark side thing. The second we see him put the robot hand, first off, that's his first robot hand that isn't skinned. Yeah. And actually, he stopped caring that what he looks like. This is and if you look at it, it's a black cloak, scary, scary, scary. White clothes underneath. That's a big immediate. Contrast. It's an immediate contrast of light side, dark side. Light side on the inside, dark side on the out.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot there just to look at. I could be way overlooking it. It might just be that I like the how he looked. Yeah. But I think that there's something to it.
What is so
Abrams
amazing.
is big into color.
Yeah.
He doesn't screw around with but he's big into the meaning of color. And I can't imagine that he would pass that up. An opportunity to take someone as iconic as Luke and paint him with a particular brush.
You know what's amazing? Have you ever talked about... This is a teaser trailer. We talked 30 minutes, 30, 40... Actually, we talked 40, 45. We had to cut it down for 30 for episode 4, part 1, part 2. And today, this is pretty lengthy, but man, this is all off of probably a minute of footage, that's actually on there. And we can speculate this much... about it. Wow. Well, that's impressive.
It's to show you how, to use an Adventures in Videoland term, how pantheonic this series is.
Oh, man.
And how much we care as Videolanders.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely, we
Yeah.
care about you.
yes.
So that the next scene that I'd like to talk about is my favorite scene in here. I mean, I could obviously go to the Chewie We're Home. That's awesome. You know, that's cool.
I cried.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Really?
Man.
I did. First time I saw it, I was sitting at home, popped up on my Facebook feed, and I was like, what's that? Teaser trailer?
Yeah.
I wasn't watching or anything like that. Popped it up, turned off my Netflix, and watched that. Watched it twice back to back, and the second time it got me. I was
And I love how,
weeping.
like, even in that one shot we get of Han and the whole,
Oh, bless me.
we're home. Like, like, there's some acting there. It's
There-
not like Indy sitting with the fire ants.
It's not
in
like
the quicksand.
Firewall. Harrison Ford's Firewall.
Yeah,
Where
It
he's
is-
giving
there's
crap.
gravitas there that only he could get in that part.
Yeah. Dude, I heard about a scene that I can just imagine myself just melting.
Yeah.
I heard that, like Leia is force sensitive now, she I don't know if she uses her power, but I heard that there's a scene where they don't make a huge deal out of Han Solo's death, obviously because you're just going to make a big deal out of it no matter what they do.
Okay.
So they don't have to sell it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I heard that, like there's an explosion, they see him die. He almost goes out like Obi-Wan, like characters from a distance, looking, no blaster fire. He dies just like kind of like an Obi-Wan gets struck down, explosion, and then it cuts to Leia going like
she knew?
She senses his death. And how many runs has he been on in the universe where she's just like Han's doing his thing and she feels
Oh,
I want to cry
you.
now, dude.
Oh my god!
And why wouldn't they give that to us? So I hear that scene, and I'm like, the suits that we're talking about, and we did get it right when we talked about Tatooine in AV Episode 4. We said, the geek is like, yeah, take us to Tatooine. And we're like, no, the business suit, it's going to be Tatooine. But the business guy, he's like, no, we need a new planet. We need new vehicles, new toys, new blah, 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 right? So it's like, it just makes sense that the suits would give us that moment with Leia. I can buy it. And tell me you
So
would.
it's like our Yoda dropping his stick. It's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Her, like, going
Yeah.
up against the wall, like, like he's gone.
And what I've heard about Leia, which I think is exciting, is that she's, I guess, closer to how Vader was than anybody else. Like, she's very militant in this movie. Like, she'll destroy anything just to save
Get
the resistance.
Yeah.
Which I like that. If she's like, put the hammer down, I think that's really cool for her character. I can see her, like really running off with
Kinda
this
being a
franchise
badass
behind the
bitch.
scenes. Yeah, just
Yeah.
the button pusher. So I think that'd be cool. But man, I've been smelt. And real quick, I'm not gonna be fake about it. When you called me or text me about this teaser, you're like, "Didn't you see this? This was amazing." I wasn't blown away by this trailer for one reason. Okay, a big running joke in AV Episode 4 was concept art.
Yeah.
Okay, I've been following concept art since day one.
Okay.
Okay, I've seen
All this.
these images except for Han and Chewie saying we're home. I've seen. We had a huge conversation about TIE fighters following each other and why would they follow each other, and we're not going to see that replicated again. So that has to be on Jakku, and it has to be at the beginning of the movie. Like, we broke it down. And so, I mean, I've seen the mask in concept art. I've seen all this stuff in concept art. And I'm just like, well, that was fun. I can't wait for the real trailer where I can see Maz Kanata and Snoke and all this other stuff and see some Luke Skywalker action, some lightsabers. So when I seen this, the only thing that blew me away, because I've been so connected and so close to everything.
See, and I've tried not to.
Yeah, but I remember you coming over and you'd be like, well, you don't seem that excited.
Yeah.
It's Star Wars, dude. I think this trailer is quality.
Yeah.
I love it. But I've just kind of experienced some of it through concept art. It was a running gag on AV4 where you're like, what's this with the concept art?
Yeah,
What is this concept art crap?
Exactly. It's just like, why ruin it for yourself?
Yeah, I know.
Whatever.
I'm bad with this. But
Whatever.
that scene with Poe Dameron, okay, going over the water. Woo!
Yeah.
And we know that Oscar Isaacs is a huge Star Wars fan. He actually dressed up. You can find some articles on this online as a gonk droid for Halloween when he was
that's
a kid.
awesome.
Yeah. So, like, he's probably
They're all Star
super pumped
I was gonna say
to be in this movie.
They're all
Yeah.
Star Wars fans.
Yeah, and that's
from
what we
I understand.
need. That's
Yeah.
what we need in this movie,
Yeah.
Star Wars fans. And you get his excitement in that.
Mhm.
So, I don't know, man. I heard that he gets a cool black stealth X-Wing at the end, too.
That'd be cool.
Whoa. I want to see that.
Mm.
You know? So, man, what have we not talked about in this trailer so far?
I don't. This is such a quick shot because you see the Chrome Stormtrooper,
Mhm.
and then the next shot you get a ship going up to like a Star Destroyer looking thing.
Uh-huh.
I think all that looks really BA.
No,
it's just
dude.
like one quick shot.
Is
Yeah.
there a
It's
bad
getting
image
followed.
in this trailer?
What? No,
man,
not
it's
really.
all just amazing.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
But I like that shot a lot.
It does what a teaser's supposed to do. We're dying for the next trailer.
Yeah, and
I was
dude,
gonna say,
I like
you're
calling some of this now and seeing if we're right when the trailer comes out. But
Yeah.
I've heard that there's another scene where he's in the Millennium Falcon and it's already landed on that ice planet or like some planet, and he goes inside. There's no one in it, okay, and it's like he remembers the Millennium Falcon, like he sits down in the pilot seat. And he's just kind of reminiscing,
taking it all in.
Yeah, which if he's Han Solo's son,
Maybe he saw it when he was a kid or
I was
whatever.
gonna say, maybe he's been separated from it for a very long time.
But I guess what really villainizes him is like I've heard that there's this rumor
Does he
where
take the dice?
he takes the dice.
The dice that are hanging
into his pocket.
Yeah.
But I heard that like Han Solo's like tells our new cast, get away, go ahead, and then he tries to talk to Kylo Ren, father to son, and like you can imagine the conversation. Don't do this. What are you doing? Come back, and that without hesitation,
Just kills him.
just kills him. Whoa! But then that's when that snow planet. That's when I heard that.
What if he trashes the Falcon too? Trashes Han and the Falcon.
Well, and I've been hearing this for the longest time.
I don't
This
know if
is,
I could do that.
Falcon's almost as much of a character.
Well,
as
yeah,
Han
the
is.
Falcon. I guess like at the end of this is the
Is he gonna get
biggest
souped up?
rumor. No, well, I heard that like he crash lands on this, but like Chewie or someone goes back and fixes it. During that time that they're fixing it is when Kylo Ren's walking through the woods. Okay, that
Yeah.
and that's when supposedly now I hope this is true because I can see this moment too, and it just makes sense to me. The suits. I'm going with the suits now.
Yeah.
Okay, because they give us Jakku. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going with the suits. It makes sense that Rey, she finds out in the visions that she's going to be the Jedi. That she is the new chosen one, I guess. Whatever. She needs to be trained. Okay. She doesn't want anything to do with Han Solo's my father. This lightsaber. Why is all this happening? I was fine on my desert planet, and Finn, John Boyega, is like lightsaber. Hell yeah, this is badass, And so they tell Maz Kanata tells Leia, hey, just let Finn hang on to it because they're connected, and she will get the lightsaber when the time comes. And he's like, you can just imagine him having fun with the
Dicking
lightsaber,
around with it,
And then maybe it's it's the good pulling the wool over eyes. He's our new Jedi,
Yeah.
and supposedly he does have some skill, and he meets Kylo Ren, and he has that one-on-one with Kylo Ren in that woods where the saber and everything, and that's when
Beyond the wall.
beyond the wall. That's when that battle goes down, and he does pretty good against Kylo Ren, which goes back to the theory that he's probably
Some
not all
piece of
that
crap.
badass. Yeah. So you got that exchange, and then he does get knocked down, and Kylo Ren's going in for that death blow, that that sledgehammer saber, and Daisy Ridley, Ren comes, Ray, sorry, Ray. Ray comes in, right? And she's like, enough of this. And he throws the saber up to her, and she catches it. And it's like, and she's like connecting into it, because she's good with a gaffy stick.
Yeah.
And we actually, remember episode 4, we zoomed in on the
I'm
pod.
wondering what the heck that thing is.
She has a staff or a gaffy stick, and she's supposed to be pretty good with that, so it makes sense if she gets that lightsaber, she's going to be, be able to wield that pretty good because she's, used to fighting off, bad guys on that desert planet. And then they both tag team Kylo Ren. That's the big rumor. And then that's when they don't defeat him. They kind of get I forget how they get separated or whatever. And I think they're like dangling on like a cliff or something. I don't know. But he thinks they're dead. He does that walk away. You're dead. Why even mess with you? Walks away. Chewie comes in, scoops them up, takes them to Luke, and Luke's like, here's your lightsaber. Do you think there's any...
If she,
it makes sense.
If that's actually a gaffy stick, that'll make me sad, because gaffy sticks are the weapon of the Tuskens. In fact,
Uh-huh.
the Tuskens.
Oh, sweet deal.
And that's a Tatooine.
Sweet Jesus. That's awesome.
And that's a Tatooine thing.
Uh-huh.
So, where they're just gonna say there's sand people on every planet, whatever. They would just kind of hand wave that there's these other gaffy sticks and stuff lying around. And I would hate if they just let some rando person who's not in the Force, especially this Finn guy, be good with the lightsaber.
Yeah, I don't know.
The whole purpose of the Jedi training in the first movies, lightsabers are dangerous. They're hard to use.
Oh.
You cut your own damn hand off.
Because
If you're not
otherwise-
Well, even Han Solo had his moment though where he's cutting open the wonton. You know, I mean, I know that's not
Tauntaun.
I know.
Cutting
that's
open a
not
wonton, totally different.
What did I say?
Wonton.
And now I want Chinese food.
Yeah. You know when he's like cutting off that Chinese guy's head?
Yeah.
You messed up my crab rangoon.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's not a weapon that everyone should use because they don't. That's the whole reason why the people that we have seen with them are all special or Jedi.
But The Force Awakens, what happens in like episode 8? We do find out because they did pull the wool over us. Haha, he's not a Jedi. It actually isn't. And then John Boyega supposedly from the set. This is just rumors from the set. Like everybody's blown away by John Boyega. Like they're saying every scene that he's in, he just sends it home, man. He kills it. Everybody's So because I guess when she takes off, total rumors again is when she takes off to meet Luke, it's her, BB-8, Chewie on the Millennium Falcon going to find Luke.
No Finn?
Finn supposedly is, back with Leia, getting, like he's all jacked up from that battle, and just, talking with Leia.
See, and
She says her good. Okay, before she runs off, the rumor is that she goes to Leia, has that mother-daughter moment, and they share their... Because, a big rumor is that they were actually lost on Jakku. Like, I think maybe there's two rumors that I've heard that are strong. Either Han and Leia that know that there's that force in their blood, and they're keeping a distance from them. And they kind of did the whole separation at birth thing just because, man, First Order, Empire, they're going to go after...
Yeah, because that worked out so well for Dad.
Yeah, right.
I can't imagine them separating them up.
Again, yeah. And the other one is that they got lost in the shuffle on, with the war.
Now
And
that I could see.
So, but either way, they do find out that because that their mother and daughter, they share that moment, and then she goes up to Finn. Thank you for your help. Thanks for going on this journey with me. You're not such a bad guy after all. Hope we meet again. I'm on a mission, going to be Luke Skywalker, and that's supposedly where everything kind of like dangles in the thing. And then Snoke supposedly behind the scenes is like every time that Kylo Ren has a moment to take out Han or take out his sister, he's like pretty much, hey, don't get sentimental. Put the hammer down.
Yeah.
Always that voice in his ear. So many rumors, man.
I would hope that they wouldn't play him down.
Yeah. I can just see this in my head, though,
but
from a
it
Star Wars perspective. All these scenes.
Did you read Legacy with Cadus?
Yes, most of it. It threw me off for a while.
Seems that
you want the hard ass, right?
I want a hard ass, but I like that whole stupid bad guy where, like, what I like about Darth Cadus is that everyone's like, oh, he's such a little bitch, he runs away. He's being smart.
Yeah.
Okay? And then he goes and he gets himself, like, he goes and he anti-flow walks and then gets trained because he has unlimited training. Because, spoiler, anti-flow walking is that you can go back through the Force through time and view anything.
That is... Oh, you think that's lame?
Super lame.
I think that's
You think that's lame?
I hate it.
That's awesome.
He
can get trained by anything. It's so cool.
No, it's terrible.
No, that's such a whole new bad guy thing, though.
No.
Like, that's
But
what I like
nobody. It might as well just make him the Sith version of the Dark Phoenix. Just go ahead and say, he can do anything he wants. Hate that.
Okay.
I hate characters that can do anything.
But
it doesn't matter if you can go anywhere
But that's
you
what makes
want.
me even more. That's what makes me even more mad about it is that Luke just shows up and just still kicks his ass.
Now,
It's like, guess what? I know all this stuff too, but we're not going to explain how I know it.
Check this out. The guy in the suit again. Okay.
Yeah.
He comes in, right?
Yeah.
And look what they're doing with Marvel. You have all these superheroes, right? You have Captain America that's totally different from Incredible Hulk. Blah, 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 right? It makes sense from the standpoint to sell more toys, more books, more characters, is if you come in and The Force Awakens, like we've had this discussion, like what we think that Force Awakens is, if it's these new characters just coming to life, or there's even a rumor that the Force has been dormant after Endor. Like it just wasn't needed anymore, and now it's needed so the Force comes back. I don't know if I buy that.
That'd be weird.
That would be weird to shut off.
We found some metachlorians.
But what if? Because I never want to see it get to Force Unleashed territory where you're pulling Star Destroyers.
Yeah, that makes me
guy.
mad.
Yeah, but what if the Force Awakens is we start seeing things like this guy has Shatterpoint, this guy has Force Vision, this person's fantastic with a saber, this person has prophecies, I think that would be cool. And then you can just see those characters just coming to life, and they kind of own it like Marvel stories. You know, I just see from a thinking 20 years down the road, Disney's going to be pumping out Star Wars films. I can see that maybe possibly that The Force Awakens is that heightened, you know, Force powers, and we might see some of that come into play because we've never seen any of that inside of canon.
Yeah. But anyway, I like the idea that I don't know how I feel about like Kylo Ren just being this kind of like little bitch, and just being this puppet. Like, I would like him to be more than that. Yeah. I don't want.
You said you have no problem with this saber as long as it's either ancient or if it's like something he just made.
If it's something he made in his backyard because he's like, I just want to be a cool guys, and then he built it, or it has some sort of purpose, like it's a key.
Did we bring that up to these guys, like, at Celebration?
I don't know.
I forget if we did or not, but the hilt at Celebration...
It's so jank.
It has wires showing, man.
It's cool. I like it. In an antique sort of way.
Yeah. It just looks like this
You're
is
not
not practical.
Oh,
I hate the thing.
Here's where I came from. I talked to you about this inside the house, but I went to Universal last year, and we went to the Harry Potter, you know, place. And they had wands out the wazoo, right? And you're like, I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan, but I'm like, this is pretty cool. We actually bought 2 wands. Every character in the freaking universe had a wand. And I was thinking, man, I'm a Star Wars fan. Where's my Star Wars place like this where you can buy every saber? So, like it or not, I'm going to be glad in 20 years when I can walk into that place and be like, oh, that's that saber, that's that saber. Man, there's about 100 sabers. I'm cool. I didn't care for that one too much, but I'm glad it exists because it spawned these other 20. You know, I can't wait for that. That's what I'm going to geek out on. So, yeah, if that has a function, and I hope it's ancient because something that they have not hit on, and I would love to see as an anthology film, is Knights of the Old Republic. I want to go back 1,000 years or whatever it is to Knights of the Old Republic. And maybe this is a key to taking us back there. We're like, hey, this is, because there's rumors that Kylo Ren, that mask there...
Looks like Revan.
Is possibly Revan. And that another rumor is that this thing here, how it's coming out the sides, is not exhaust ports, but that's actually a key to like an ancient tomb that he puts in and it unlocks something.
See, I'd be okay if it's like a key. I would be okay if it's exhaust ports, but if this isn't practical. Mm-hmm. Just especially even how you see how he swings, like he's swinging it like it's an axe or something like that. I'm just.
But it's different. I like the.
It is, but if it ain't broke, don't like don't try and fix it.
Everybody has like.
But that has been the method of the Sith from the very beginning. Sith don't use traditional sabers. As a rule. Because it throws the Jedi fighting styles off. And I would love for Kylo to be, again, like we said, a big Vader fanboy. He starts digging into things. He's like, Vader, they call him the Dark Lord of the Sith. What the hell's a Sith? Maybe this is the Force Awakening. Luke, when he was done with Vader, and the fighting went to be regular fighting, and now as far as all the Force is concerned, it's just him and his sister. And nobody else. Everybody else is dead and gone. So he's like, screw it, I'm staying on Endor. I'm not getting involved. Put my blinders on. Leia is not Force sensitive enough. She's never going to get trained. The Force will die with me because all it does is cause problems. And then Kylo says, well, Granddad's got Force, and starts doing some research, finds out, Vader, Lord of the Sith, what's a Sith? And looks into it and starts getting these artifacts from the old, maybe that's why he ends up on Jakku. Place where there's a junk trading thing, and he goes to find these things. He gets Raven's mask. He gets he gets Vader's old busted up ass saber and his helmet and stuff, and makes his own.
I think that'd be so cool. And then the biggest rumor that I've heard for a long time is that Max von Sydow is not Boba Fett, but he's actually supposedly he's connected to the Clone Wars. Like after they reveal who he is, there will be a reveal, and that he was somebody, not a prominent character, but someone who's aged 30-some years. And that he's kind of been like watching out over Daisy Ridley, from a distance, or
like pulling a Luke with
from Rey, kind of, Luke, But like that overturned AT. Have you seen the overturned AT-AT?
It's more concept art.
I don't think.
It's more concept art. Actually,
he says with derision.
He was so pissed about the concept art.
I don't think so dumb.
But the AT-AT turned over on its side. Supposedly that's like where Max von Sydow's character, which I don't believe they've revealed his name, lives. And that's like the junk shop. That's the the almost like the Jawas, base of operations kind of, but through him. And that's the place where I want to go in and be like, as a person living on Jakku, maybe from the side, you're like, oh man, I need a helmet. I need that's pretty cool. And maybe in the back, it seems like he would be someone that would probably collect something like that.
Yeah.
You know? And that's maybe when he comes down, Kylo Ren, he comes down, he's like, where's that lightsaber? Oh, it's BB-8's rolling around with it. Okay, well, I'm going to torch this place. Oh, what is this? Oh, that's cool. You know, maybe grabbing some stuff in there. I think that'd be cool. I just love that treasure mind of story that Jakku could be.
Yeah.
You know? So, I think it's great.
Or he could just go through time and learn it from other people.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Can
I can't.
you pull up that Vader mask real quick?
I can't let that go.
Quit crying.
The thing that I heard,
Please.
actually through
I
concept,
think that's cool.
through concept art,
Through concept art,
You
what'd
see-
you figure out, Brad?
you see this hand,
this robot hand.
this robot hand that's looking at Vader's mask, you know,
Yeah.
and it's all, you know, melted. But I want to see if the top part is all, if the whole thing is like
It's all
melted.
there.
Is it all melted, or is the top still in good shape?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Like the top of his head, if that's in good shape, I think that Kylo Ren, we've seen in concept art with the mask where it has yellow right here.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he creates something here, but he takes the shell of Vader's helm.
Or I wouldn't say that he's going to take the same thing. Yeah, it's not going to work.
But man, what's the best thing to do if you're gonna put
But-
fear in the hearts of people? Is
Oh, yeah.
become the boogeyman.
Yeah.
You know. And something I'm kind of worried about though is like, you know, you don't have Palpatine no more, and this is again too nice and clean and neat. But it would make no sense if they didn't do this. But Palpatine, you know, man, you have clones. You've already brought that up. That the technology exists. I don't care if it's banned or whatever. If you ban it, Palpatine's going to have that guy in his pocket who can still make clones. I almost, man, hope that we see either a younger Palpatine or, you know, bring
That'd be so cool.
Ian back.
They did that in
It makes sense,
Dark
though.
Empire
in,
also.
in Dark Empire.
It'd be-
That's in Dark Empire as well.
It seems like too dumb if they don't, though, doesn't it?
I think it'd be cool
It-
to have the Emperor be back at least for something, whether he's on a hologram or something.
Maybe take-
I would love to. Oh man, have like his maybe that's how Kylo
Like a
learns about all
holocron?
this.
Yeah.
Get him on an old holographic journal, a Darth Sidious.
Yeah, that has to be around.
holocron.
Holocron, yeah, that has to be around, you know. But you're no matter what, if you're doing 3 more films, 6 more films, you're going to keep this Star Wars franchise going. You're gonna have to come up with a bigger bad. So whoever Snoke is, or maybe Snoke's the
face.
the underling,
Snoke's the puppet.
you're gonna need someone like a Revan or a Bane or someone so
Well-
freaking awesome to come back to outshine Palpatine. You're just gonna have to. You're gonna need someone that is either on par with Palpatine or that surpasses him, just for a new threat in the franchise. If not, you're not gonna really give a damn.
We don't know that Snoke, as a supreme leader, is in the First Order.
Yeah.
I would love for us to get a little bit of a turntable, and the First Order might be militant, might be, you know, what the Empire kind of transformed into, but maybe Snoke is a not so nice guy, but he's the supreme leader of the Resistance.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not a great guy, because we don't know anything about him other than his name and that he's a mocapped Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
That's all we got. I think it'd be kind of cool if maybe our good guys aren't necessarily working for the. It's not as cut and dry white hat black hat as it was.
No,
for
yeah,
the
I think
first 6
that'd be cool
episodes.
too. Yeah.
I'd love to see a little bit of a mix of where do your loyalties lie,
just like
especially.
Game of Thrones, how there's no good and bad. Everyone's just dirty gray.
But no, I'd love for us to be rooting for people, and then maybe they learn as characters that they're fighting on the wrong side of
Yeah.
things. You know, we're already. I believe, and I think Brad believes, we already see that in Finn, that he's going to flip sides, and that maybe at some point we discover that both sides are messed up.
And you know that scene from the trailer, because I want to make sure we get all the scenes in. We'll cut it down here pretty soon. But you know where you see the TIE fighters shooting? It's like in a bay somewhere. And
Yeah,
the TIE fighters are
they're
escaping.
blowing up all the stormtroopers.
Yeah,
and
I
stuff.
think that right there is when Finn was like, "We need to get the hell out of here," and he
Mm-hmm.
goes and grabs Poe Dameron, and it's like I think they escape with those TIE fighters. But there's a reason that he goes from stormtrooper, okay, to having that vest on. And I kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but it has to be.
I think he's on the run.
Yeah, but I mean, where did he get that? Did he get it from a village, or is that Poe Dameron's? Because I hear that we lose track of Poe Dameron for a while. Like there's a crash. We don't. Maybe he's dead, right? But he's not. He's Oscar Isaac, so we're not gonna kill him just from flying an X-wing. And then they scoop him up, and then they torture him up in the Star Destroyer while they're looking for.
Well,
Finn.
it's that X-wing scene. There's 2 of them flying. Could be that Finn's clothes are from the downed wingman.
Yeah. Are you talking about like towards the end?
Yeah.
And, because that's 2 different planets there. That's jungle.
Oh,
and then
yeah,
desert.
yeah.
I heard there. That's when. Now this is the biggest thing I'm worried about this movie, and we've talked about this too. Is Death Star 3? It's not a Death Star, but I've heard that the Alliance
some sort of super
has
weapon.
their super weapon, and that the First Order has their super weapon, and it's 2 super weapons against each other. And I'm like, why can't you just have good guys versus bad guys? Why do you always need the game-changing super weapon when you already had 2?
Yeah.
Well, that actually feeds into my
Nuclear
idea that
deterrent,
both sides
baby.
are bad.
Nuclear deterrent.
Well, I was gonna say that feeds into my idea that both sides are going to be messed up, and that the heroes are basically going to be the ones that are like realize that they're no matter who wins, the galaxy is screwed up. We have to fix this on a different level.
And that's why I hope that Luke Skywalker's son, if it comes true that he's the general and he's played by Domhnall Gleeson, he's not just your mustache twirling villain. That he's actually, because of that weapons of mass destruction thing that they have, he's in charge of it. And he only wants to use it when it needs to be. And if he just gave it to... He's almost kind of talking himself into the role. Like, it's going to be better if I'm here. Mm-hmm. And I'm making the calls. Not as many people will die kind of thing. You know? And the Rebel Alliance or the Resistance won't use theirs because they're the good guys. And he's trying to bring a balance to both sides by being the bad guy. But by doing that, he becomes the bad guy. Which I like that kind of villain. You know, that is justifying himself being, you know, in the Empire.
Oh, I was going to say, that is Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Justified being evil.
Yeah, so I think that'd be really cool. Mm-hmm. So, oh, man, all kinds of stuff. I can't wait to see what we get right, what we don't. And, dude, I'll tell you what, man, when we see the full trailer
full, like, 2-minute trailer.
Yeah, without the 1 second fades to black. I mean, there's going to be a lot of stuff answered that we're talking about now. We're going to see if that shot of maybe Poe Dameron with BB-8 or, you know, all kinds of things that are connecting what we're talking about here today. So some of it I hope we're wrong. I really do. I hope this whole conversation is BS because I want to be surprised a little bit.
Exactly.
So, you know? So these people are probably like, damn it, they got it all right.
I was going to say,
we could be
I feel like I know the whole movie.
We could be way off. Yeah, but man, we brought up totally different things between this being something he made to a freaking key that opens up an ancient tomb. From Skywalker burying Han Solo on a funeral pyre to
never leaving it in the door,
to being a vision.
Yeah.
You know, so we threw all kinds of things out here today. A lot of these things line up with images, but man, there's 1,001 ways you can write a scene. So I can't wait to see the final product, man. This is my most anticipated movie of all time.
Since it was initially announced that it was happening.
Yeah.
Constant. It's just a constant desire to see.
About you? Is it your most anticipated movie ever? I cannot stop thinking about this movie.
I just try my best not to think about it.
Oh, man. I can't.
To be honest. I really just don't want it to... Star Wars is my baby, man. I don't want it to... I mean, I've just been let down by so many other things. Yeah. That's the only thing. I don't want it to let me down.
I know. I feel you there, man. Yeah. Oh, but, you know, this might... I do have some small problems with the movie Inception. I think it's an okay movie. But I love the cast of Inception. Yeah. I think the cast is amazing. And this cast here... is like right up. Man, I was a huge fan of John Boyega. You know, when Attack the Block, I was like, that guy's gonna be a movie star. So when they grabbed John Boyega, I was like, oh, this is awesome. Oscar Isaacs and Domhnall Gleeson, we just came off of them being in Ex Machina, playing off each other. So I'm gonna be so mad if we don't get a scene with them, at least exchanging some dialogue, because they were great in Ex Machina. Man, there's just so many things that I love the cast. Gwendoline Christie, man. Adam Driver. I don't know much about Adam Driver, but I like how he looks on the screen.
He's playing a drastically different role. The only thing I've seen him in at a great deal is actually the HBO show Girls.
Okay.
But he plays like a totally just whack job, just a socially inept, potentially like thickly autistic. Very hard to put your finger on what's wrong with this guy. There's definitely something wrong with this guy, but he does an amazing job at it. So seeing him in a regular role, even if it's dark, twisted, horrible. Seeing him in a regular role, I'm excited to see what he can do with it, because I've seen what he can do with messed up, and I want to see him do it messed up with a purpose.
Yeah. And I don't know what you guys think about this, and we'll end on here. I would love to see if Snoke eventually at the end of this was Darth Plagueis, man, just because I want the full circle. It makes sense that he would be around if he did learn how to stop death. Yeah, cheat death, and then Palpatine thought he killed him, but he never did. He's been in the background pulling the strings for, Palpatine worked for decades pulling strings. Be awesome if he was behind everything pulling strings.
I wouldn't like that.
No?
Whatever, no.
What do you think?
Well, I'd be way better off if he was a time traveler and went back in time and, learned stuff from people.
Through the Force!
I'm kidding, Seth.
We find out that lightsaber is the pattern for all lightsabers to come.
Ever. Now you guys are just trying to piss me off.
Hey, as you can see, we are super pumped, man. I could seriously talk for another hour about this, just from speculation, what we want, canon,
This is
everything.
just about a trailer.
This is about a trailer. I mean, we took speculation. I told you at the beginning of this, we're talking everything. What we want, what we don't want, the trailer. Man, you guys gonna come back for the full trailer?
Absolutely.
Man, might be a 3-hour conversation,
It might
man.
be.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But man, hey, thanks for watching. We love talking to you, man. We are, about 700 strong. Tumblr, man. We're on Tumblr. We're on Facebook. I put all of our photos on Instagram. Check us out there, man. Join in on the conversation. We just love to talk about movies. We just like to geek out. Seth, where can they find you?
I'm on Twitter at LairdGeek, L-A-I-R-D, geek, all one word. I'm also on Facebook. I'm posting on the page all the time. So.
All right, and still, when you're not making porn and watching Arrow.
At the same time. You can find me at Twitter at 7th Crown, or on Facebook. I'm on the adventure site all the time, and my own Facebook at Brian C.P. Steele. Yeah, give me a jingle.
All right, man. Can we end this with you just like lighting that saber?
I gotta turn it back on then.
He lights that up. We say peace, and we're done.
Peace.
Seared your neck.
All right.
All right. Oh, that's cool. I like the 3D effect here. 2.
Dick jokes. Hope to be part of one someday. All right.
I know a local guy who has the best dick jokes.
I thought you were gonna be like, I got a local guy. He's got the best dick.
He's got the
very
best dick in
photogenic.
town.
So great.
Do you think Vader's dick got seared off?
It's definitely crispy. His upper legs were all
No, dude,
His
he was.
toast. His
Dude,
dick is
no,
toast.
no way.
Looks like chewed up bubble gum, probably.
No way, dude.
leathery.
Yeah, leathery, chewed up bubble
It's definitely
gum.
unused.
Could you imagine
Thrown
it
into
now?
Fire.
Could you imagine it now, though? It's probably just like a.
RoboCop.
Yeah, like a
probably just
robot
that's
dick.
what he sits. He just sits in this little,
He's just focusing.
That's why I couldn't have the Force. I would be a bad, bad person. I would hurt everyone and jerk off without anyone knowing.
Yeah.
I'd be at the mall being like,
Well, we said in our last video that he
Just sitting
crashed-
in like Death Star meetings,
Yeah.
what you do? Ah, fuck! Ah,
That's what he chokes people too. And he's like,
man!
he's in that. He's in
Did you
that.
see Game of Thrones?
Yeah. He's thinking about that last scene in Game of Thrones from
Yeah.
last week, and someone's like, "The rebels got away, so." Fuck.
Or you like,
little Force choke on myself.
just shoots through like a wall.
All right, guys.
All right.
You guys are disgusting.
I know.
We are foul.
Gosh, man.
I hope he's not the dark side Anakin,
Yeah.
before he turned dark, like just kind of whining, like, I should have the power of the dark, I should be like Uncle Vader,
Yeah.
God damn it.
I won't be pissed that it's
You'd
happened.
be pissed
About what?
if you see, we go to the movie, okay? Force Awakens, right? And it's exactly what we talked about today.
Oh, I'm gonna be super pissed.
I would be.
I'm gonna hate you. I'm gonna think
I
back
would
to
be-
this.
I would-
I'm just gonna be like, fuck you, Brad.
I wouldn't be pissed because you're right. I'd be more pissed that our movie industry has gotten so fucking loose-lipped.
Yeah, that we
From
can't.
a teaser!
Yeah.
From a teaser, we can paint all this out by a fucking teaser.
That's
if
why I have
the
friends
case.
that don't watch trailers because of that.
God, this
They don't
is-
watch anything.
Yeah, I will be pissed at the industry if we can decode all this from a fucking full plot.
I mean, well, I just don't want it to ruin everything for me. Just be like, dude, fuck Star Wars. Like,